Hi everyone, it's Fezi here, and today I want to answer this question. Should you be 100% qualified for a job for you to apply for it? The answer is no. That's it. So, if you're looking for the answer, that's the answer. You can now go watch the other videos. Jokes, guys. But anyway, so the thing is, I'll explain it much better on why you shouldn't be 100% qualified for the job for you to apply for it. If I was to look at the jobs that I've applied for, most of them I wasn't 100%. Now, what do I mean when I say 100%? So when you get to look at the vacancy, let's say they're looking for, let's say, procurement manager, or they're looking for, let's say, IT manager. Now, they get to write the roles that the prospective candidate or employee will be doing, to say once you're employed, this is what you'll be doing. And then they also get to write the attributes. Those could be the education itself, even skills. So there's education, skills, and pretty much these two things. So these are the key things that most of the job vacancies have. Job vacancies have different other things, but these are the basic ones, to say the job roles, the position, the job roles, as well as the education or skills that they're looking for. So when I say should you be 100% qualified, I'm simply saying should you tick all the boxes on this on the position itself, on the job roles, like every single detail on the job roles, and also the education. Should you mark or should you check all the boxes? The answer is no, you shouldn't check all the boxes. But the thing is, if you want to increase your chances of being called for interviews, but also if you want to increase your chances of being successful at the job, make sure you tick most of the boxes. Now, I want to talk about this because for someone like me who is into career coaching and everything, I always say, oh, make sure you apply for the job. Don't look down on yourself. Make sure you apply for the jobs. Don't despair. Don't get tired. Just apply. So sometimes people get this message and say, I'll just be applying for jobs. Cool, you have to apply for jobs, but sometimes you apply for jobs that maybe you're not even, let's say, 20% qualified for the job, but you know what? I have to add numbers to what I'm applying for, so I'll apply for this job. So sometimes you make a lot of applications, let's say 100 applications, but you get no invitation for interviews. Then the question is like, oh, you know what? Maybe they're just calling for their relatives, or maybe they're just looking for someone who they already know, or whatever. Sometimes we say things like those, but the thing is, maybe we have been applying for jobs that we don't qualify for. Now, that's the first thing that I wanted to say. The second thing is, if you think you are somehow 60% qualified for the job, 60% going up, apply for that job. Now, let me give a scenario that we'll talk about, like the 60%. That will somehow like, you look at the job roles, maybe you can do, let's say there are 10 job roles, and you already have experience of doing, let's say, 5 of those. You're good to go. You don't have to know everything on the job roles. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know enough. Maybe the first 5, I'd say normally the first 5 things that people that companies put on the job vacancy, those are the key things that you'll be doing when you're employed. They can write 15 things, but the first 5 kind of like the key things. Now, on the education itself, let's say they're looking for someone who has a master's, but you only have a first degree. What should you do? Should you still apply? I'll say yes, you should. If you have more experience, you should. Sometimes even if you don't have much experience, you can still apply if you think you're qualifying specifically on the job roles. Maybe you've done or maybe you do those roles in your current role where you're working. You can be able to apply. So I remember I applied for a job that they were looking for someone who had a master's, but I only had like a first degree. I was called for interviews. I also remember I applied for a job that they were looking for like something that was a little bit higher than what I had, but I was called for interviews. So the goal is, yes, you should make a lot of applications, but just make sure that you are at least, let's say, 60% qualified, or maybe even 50%. If you think you're 50% qualified for the role, apply for it. I'll say apply for it. But if you think you're 40% down, miracles do happen. I'm not saying you shouldn't you should just stop applying if you think you're 40% below, and if you think you're 40% qualified for the role. No, you should apply, but I'm simply saying the thing is you have to increase it. Okay, let me put it this way: the goal should not be on increasing numbers of the applications. The goal should be applying for jobs that you know that you'll be called for interviews. but also applying for jobs that you know that you'll be able to you'll be able to do. Because I mean, there's no reason why you have to lie on your CV, or you have to just for you to somehow match the job. If you think you are not qualified, it's cool. Leave it for other people. Now, let me give an example of you not being qualified for a job. Let me give an example to say maybe you have just graduated, maybe you've just only worked for 1 year. Now, an organization releases a vacancy to say they're looking for, let's say you did um, marketing, and let's say you did marketing. Now they're looking for a marketing director, and they say we're looking for someone who has 15 years experience, and there you are with like 1 year experience in marketing. And I mean, you believe, you know what, you just have to apply for jobs. You have to be well, what words do we normally use? You have to be what, like tenacious or whatever. We find like those words. Yeah, see, you have to believe in yourself. You see, you can apply for that job, but the chances of you being successful or being called for interviews in the first place are slim. But yeah, let me tell you, they may call you for interviews because they're like, oh, this person is brave. He only has like 1 year experience, but he has been able to apply, or she has been able to apply for this job. They can call you to say, oh, we want to see you. Like, where did you get the audacity for you to apply for this job? That can happen. I shouldn't rule that out. But the thing is, if you want to increase your chances of being called for interviews, make sure you apply for jobs that you know that you'll be called for interviews and you'll be successful. So, should you be 100% qualified for you to apply for a job? No. If you're 50% above, make sure you apply for the job. Sometimes 40. If you really think maybe you'll be able to do the job, go for it. But anything above 50, apply. Make sure you apply for the job. I hope you find this helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.